Hello everybody. Welcome to another video of Scientomatics. Today, we will be discussing about the future of orbital rockets and enjoy the video. Today, in 2021, if you want to launch a satellite, there are really only a few launch providers, and those include companies like SpaceX, United Launch Alliance, Blue Origin's coming, Northrop Grumman, and other notable companies like Rocket Lab. And then the new rockets we see coming out today. For example, the Blue Origin New Glenn rocket, the SpaceX Starship, the United Launch Alliance Vulcan rocket. Now, what's common with these rockets? Well, new, existent, outdated. What's a common thing? Well, it's simply that they're gigantic. Like the Saturn V from the Apollo 11 mission. Man, that thing was 360 feet high. The upcoming New Glenn rocket by Blue Origin is 313 feet or 95 meters high. SpaceX Falcon 9, 207 feet high. Those are massive, massive things. And the Sea Dragon, an old enough with the figures and old of these rockets. Let's get into what I want to actually talk about. So there are these other companies like Rocket Lab, as I mentioned a minute ago. There are these other companies like them who make rockets, but there's something different. There's something much, much different. And it's that they're smaller. They're much, much smaller. Now, Rocket Lab's Electron rocket stands at only 59.05 feet high, or 18 meters. That's mighty small for a orbital class rocket. And they have other things equipped in their rocket that are much more futuristic than the average SpaceX or ULA rocket. And that is that the engines of the Rocket Lab Electron rocket are 3D printed. Yes, they're 3D printed. So what they do, they go in their CAD design software, then they whip up a model, they do all the calculations, whip up a model, click print, and it's printing on their printer. Now, it's not anything like PLA or ABS plastic, it's actually metal. But still, they're 3D printing it. And their engines, there's a picture of their CEO, Peter Beck, holding it in his hands. So their engine is that small, with a small rocket, and it goes up high into orbit. And so far, they've launched almost 110 satellites now. Yeah, almost 110 satellites. It's simply incredible. Now, okay, that's amazing. But how about some other small companies, smaller than Rocket Lab, that do incredible things like these? Well, one of them is Arca Space. Now, those guys are doing something incredible. Okay, so there's an engine type, not the traditional de Laval engine nozzle. It's called the aerospike engine, and that has been tried over the years. That has been tried to take it up to space, but it's never got off the prototype label. So Arca Aerospace are going to be the first ones. If they are successful, they're going to be the first ones to have an aerospike launched to orbit. Now, and then that rocket's going to be around 60 feet tall. It can fit on a big rig truck, which is also quite amazing. Now, another thing of their company that's very interesting is that they're working on, you won't believe what I'm going to say, but they're working on an electric and water rocket. Okay, now water rockets, they're the things that if you don't know what it is, it's a thing that a kid would uh, build and send it up whatever 50, 60 feet high. But this is not that type. It's a bit different, but it's similar in that sense. It uses water as the fuel. Now, this is what they mean by water and electric. So the electricity heats up the water to 250 degrees Celsius, and then that water turns into steam, and then the steam goes through nozzles through it looks like an aerospike configuration on their website. I'm gonna put a link in the description as to what a video about what the aerospike nozzle is. Now, and then that water that is pushed through the aerospike, it creates 100,000 kilograms of thrust. And now compared to the space shuttle solid rocket booster, it's 1/12 of that, and the Ariane 5 rocket, SRB, the solid rocket booster of that guy, is 1/5. And this is not meant to be an orbital class rocket. It's supposed to be uh, like a booster, essentially. And it's a very, very unique approach to this. I've never ever seen this. I've never ever imagined this. That a full-fledged aerospace company, not just some amateur guy, but a full-fledged company, is undertaking this amazing water rocket approach. It's quite incredible. And something on their website that they're writing here is that um, they're writing quote, built in the corresponding size for the lift payload, it can transport any orbital rocket to altitudes of around 3,000 meters and speeds of around Mach 2. So essentially, it's of course, as any other solid rocket booster, it's not going to take you all the way up, but it's going to take you quite high. And this exactly does that. It's incredible. Yeah, I think it will take you past maximum dynamic pressure, max Q. Okay, now another company that's doing amazing things regarding the smallness. On their website, they don't give much information, but it's called the Vector rocket, and their specific model, the Vector R, um, it it's only 13 meters tall, only 42 feet high. That's it, 42 feet. That's like incredibly small. And um, these small rockets. Now, sorry, coming back to the Arca rocket, the one with the aerospike, it weighs only a little bit more than an F1 car. Now, our regular sedans, they're around 3,900 to 4,600 pounds. This thing, these small rockets like the Arca one, is only 1,000 pounds, a bit over 1,000 pounds. I mean, that's very, very light. Okay, now coming back to the Vector R is the one that's 13 meters and being able to lift up stuff to orbit, not suborbit, but orbit. I mean, that's very amazing. Now, finally, coming to another company. I mean, it's not a company; it's just a thing, a group made by amateurs. It's called Copenhagen Suborbitals. Now, these guys, they're under development of a rocket that will lift an amateur astronaut into space. And this is called the Speaker rocket. It's another one of these small rockets, but this time it does not have some fancy 3D printed engines or anything, but it's made by amateurs. This rocket is made by amateurs, and it's going to lift an amateur astronaut up above the Kármán line, which is the border between Earth and space, 100 kilometers high. I mean, that's fascinating. And I mean, that's incredible. An amateur company trying to lift someone up above the Kármán line and not seeing a full-fledged rocket company like Rocket Lab or Vector doing that, that's simply amazing. And now here I'll show you some of a video of their rocket. Okay, and thank you for watching this video. I mean, it was quite interesting learning about these, wow, these small rockets, but and high-tech rockets lifting things into orbit. It's quite interesting. So with that being said, see you next time. Bye-bye.